Welcome to Teton Street. I'm Zach. He's Dustin. Last month, MKBHD released a video about Apple's durability test. And while there's a lot of cool shots and it was cool to see the iPhones all in the water and everything like that, there's a part of the video that upset a lot of right to repair advocates.
Like it actually feels like it's basically a sliding scale with durability on one side and repairability on the other. And the more durable you want to make your thing, the less repairable you're making your thing.
So, durability on one side, repairability on the other side. Is it a spectrum? Is that just a myth? Before we get into that, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It helps us out a lot. It's free for you. We are officially pushing for 1,000 subs. I think we want to do it by the end of the year, but if we did that earlier, it'd be great. So,
awesome.
Dustin, this video upset a lot of folks. In fact, in the comments, folks were calling MKBHD and Apple propagandists. What were they upset about, and what is right to repair?
Let's start with the right to repair. That is a concept where individuals can take their product and repair it on their own, however they see fit, rather than going back to the manufacturer. There are already a bunch of laws kind of in place for farmland equipment, like farmers and tractors and stuff, for them to be able to get the parts they need and repair their own tractors rather than, I don't know how all that works. I'm not a farmer, but if they have to, I mean, think about it. If they have to haul a tractor to the manufacturer for it to get repaired, I'm sure there are mechanics that go out and work on those things. Who knows? Farmers know. But yeah, that's kind of just the gist of it. And it also bled into the tech world a bit.
Right. So there's been a lot of advocates for right to repair for a long time in the tech world. You see things pop up, especially around Apple, because Apple has kind of been notorious for being bad at allowing folks the right to repair. But laws have started jumping up in the tech world. So New York has a law, a right to repair law now. There's a new Oregon law, relatively new, I think it came this year, which prevents parts pairing, which is when a company uses software to verify that all of the parts used in a repair or in a device are authentic. And so this has prompted Apple to kind of work back a little bit on their hard stance against non-Apple parts being put into their devices during repairs. Now, of course, non-Apple parts are usually going to be a little cheaper than Apple parts. So I think that's one of the reasons maybe initially they were against it. But they also made the claim that parts pairing is necessary for security and functionality. For example, replacing a cracked iPhone screen could lead Face ID to break, that type of thing. I don't know if you buy that or not, but that's kind of some of the other, or where the laws started to leak into the electronic side, and the more advocacy side for parts to, right to repair is with electronics.
And so back to the MKBHD video, a lot of people were mad at their little bit of conversation about the repairability versus durability, and how the more repairable something is, the less durable it is. And if something's more durable, the less repairable it is. And we think that's a load of poo.
We do. There's certainly some truth to that, right? Like we say a load of poo, a myth, as the title says. There's some, like, obviously, the harder it is for water to get into a phone, you have to make it in such a way that maybe that makes it a little bit more difficult to get into a battery, as for like a quick battery swap. That makes sense. And I think that if anyone had like a Samsung Galaxy S, I think it was like S3 is what I had. They had like the removable backs, and if you drop them, they just exploded, and the plastic got all scuffed up. So I get it. I get where they're coming from with that. Where we think it's a myth, where we think it's a big load of poo, or whatever you said. Hopefully YouTube's not going to destroy us for saying that.
Sure.
Is using it as an excuse for the way that they've treated right to repair advocates for so many years, and the way that they've created their devices. So we talk about iPhones, and this video is mostly about iPhones. But Dustin, what's the durability of an iMac? Why does an iMac need to be difficult to repair?
Yep. I don't know. For me, an iMac falls in the category of an all-in-one computer. And being in IT, I do have to repair computers from time to time, you know. And when people bring in all at once, it's a bad day. It's not fun. I think they make those a little hard to repair on purpose, so that way you do send them in to repair. But they don't need to have the durability repairability scale, because it's not moving from your desk. It's
Right.
not a mobile thing. A phone, I can kind of see where they kind of have these little ideas with this scale. With computers or desktops, the most it's going to move is if you move around your room or if you move your office, and that's it.
And so they make phones. They want to rate them for, like, diving in the ocean and all this crazy stuff. And I appreciate that. And I think it's cool.
Great.
You do have to seal computers to keep dust out.
Yeah.
But there are ways to do that without, I don't know, soldering in RAM, making it extremely difficult to upgrade any Mac computer.
Yep.
I think that a lot of folks are upset. And what upset me the most is that it seemed like MKBHD was giving them a free pass for every other action they've taken with their devices to make it more difficult for you to take it to a retailer, a separate retailer, and save a couple $100 on a repair. Or if maybe you just want to repair it yourself at home.
Me, I enjoy that kind of thing. I like taking things apart and seeing how they work. I want to be able to take a computer apart and dive in and see which each part is and everything else. That's just what I do. Now, I understand most people do not enjoy that. They would rather send it into somebody, but they would also probably rather, like you said, save a couple $100,
So I understand that Apple wants devices to work for a long time, this durability thing. And one of the things that he said in this video is that the more durable a product is, the less repairs it'll need. And so that'll help the environment. Dustin, that will keep Apple from having to make a ton of replacement parts and throw away replacement parts, which means that, less material is being used. It's for the environment, Dustin.
Less material being
surely
used.
you can't say anything against that.
No, there's nothing. I mean, we do get a new phone every year.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
we do get a new iPad very close to every year. Wait, we don't we get MacBooks every year too? Do we get a new Mac, iMac Studio, the Mac Mini? Well, every year or two.
I guess though there are, that's a lot of material that's being thrown out there.
Yeah, that's just well, you obviously you have to upgrade your stuff because the new stuff comes out. The new cameras on the iPhones, the new processors, the new soldered on RAMs of the iMacs.
So what's the point of a super durable device if Apple makes them irrelevant in a year, right? Yeah. So Apple kind of talks out both sides of their mouth in this, because they do want you to buy a new iPhone every year, and they're not really that concerned about what happens to your old iPhone, as long as you give them money to buy the new one. And if you drop your iPhone and it smashes the glass, they definitely want you to pay the $500 to $700 or whatever it is to get one at an Apple certified dealer. And hey, let's not forget, Apple Care is the thing. So that's another revenue source for Apple, where they push Apple Care so that you'll get somewhat normally priced repairs, even though they're still more expensive and you've basically paid for them already.
Yeah. But hey, we love Apple, and we are Apple truthers.
I also still,
on my iPhone and my MacBook here. But there are definitely every company does shady stuff or weird things, business practices that a lot of people don't agree with. This just happens to be one of those.
Two things can be true. We can be Apple users and we can also be critical of Apple. And I know that is a crazy concept to some folks out there, but That's what it is. Sometimes, you know, you got to do both.
Yep.
Let us know in the comments what you think. I know we're about a month late on this, but we got to it, covered some other stuff, came back. We're like, I haven't done an Apple video in a while. Let's do right to repair. That'll get everyone upset.
Oh, yeah.
So let us know what you think in the comments. We'll try to read all the comments unless you're super mean to us, in which case we'll read it and text each other about it. Have a great day. Peace.
See ya.
I'm walking the streets of nowhere.